Welcome back. All right, 12 games tonight in the National Hockey League, and I did my best. Like this was a tough night when you have 7 games starting at 4 o'clock Pacific, which is my time zone. It just following everything, it gets a little bit daunting. So again, I did my best. The later games I saw most of everything. So all right, we're gonna start off talking about Toronto and Boston. Can Toronto play Boston all the time? I say that because as a Boston fan, this is when they've looked their best. Like if you're a Toronto fan and you just watch the games that Boston plays against Toronto, you'd be like, man, Boston looks so good. Yeah, against Toronto they do. So it's Wall versus Swayman in this one. The Bruins press at 2 minutes. We get a power play for Boston. It's 2 minutes of 5-on-3, actually. There's a near miss for Van Riemsdyk, and then Pastrnak scores from DeBrusk and Marchand at 5:37. The Leafs kill off the 5-on-4. Leafs look to respond. The shots are 4-1 Boston at 7 minutes. Domi fires one wide on a rush. Nyes gets shaken up. He collided with Marchand. He did exit the game. I didn't see him come back into it. Bruins press with 6.5 minutes left. Brazeau is denied on a net drive. The Leafs press with 3 minutes left with 1:21 left. There's too many Leafs on the ice. So that rolls over to the second period with Boston ahead 1-0. The Leafs finish the kill. Boston would get a second goal as Trent Frederick at 4:16. Nylander just lost the puck and is buried on a break by Frederick. We get a 4-minute Leafs power play, and during the second 2 minutes, Mitch Marner scores from Liljegren at 7:56 on a fast break, so that makes it a 2-1 game. Bruins press for response. The Leafs go back to the power play. That's killed off. Pressed by Toronto after it's done. The shots are 10-4 for the Leafs. With 8 minutes left, Marner couldn't hit the open net. He gets shaken up a bit. We have a crossbar for Pastrnak. The Bruins draw a power play. And then it's kind of scrummy, so it becomes a 4-on-4 instead. So, yeah, when you're getting a power play, maybe don't take that offsetting penalty. And then we end up with 1 minute and 22 seconds of 4-on-3 for Boston, and they score. Geeky with the power play marker from Shattenkirk and Zacha at 17:16. He buries a cross ice pass there to make it 3-1. And then at 18:23, Carlo puts one off Woll's shoulder and into the net. Marchand and DeBrusk with the assists. And it is 4-1 Boston after 2. Third period, early Toronto power play. That gets killed off. Shots are 3-0 Leafs at 5 minutes. You can really tell where I had to change markers. Power play for Boston. That's killed off. Zacha has a shot that's blocked. The Leafs clear. Shots are 7-2 for Toronto with 7.5 minutes left. The Leafs press with 6.5 minutes left. The Leafs score, but it's waved off. Bertuzzi kicked it in. Yeah, you can't do that. Near miss for Frederick and close. We had a fight between Domi and McAvoy. Domi didn't give McAvoy the choice to say no. At any rate, your final score is 4-1 for Boston. They go to 37-13-15. Toronto 36-19-8 with the loss. 3 stars in this one: Swayman, Marchand, and Carlo. Shots on net: 9-7 Boston in the first, 12 apiece in the second, 10-5 Toronto in the third. Final shots: 29-26 Toronto. Power plays: the Leafs 1 for 4, Boston 2 for 5. The hits: 46-45 for Boston. Wall saves 22 out of 26. Swayman 28 saves on 29 shots. Again, if the Leafs play against Boston in the playoffs, if Boston could play like this, they could sweep it and then get destroyed in the second round. But hey, they could sweep that first round. All right, next up, Carolina at home against Montreal. The Canes continue to be one of the best teams in the league. It's Montembeault versus Anderson. Freddie Anderson came back. He looked good. Anderson was sharp early on. The Canes press at 3.5 minutes, but at 5:53, Roy opens the scoring. Newhook with the assist. It's 1-0 Montreal. Svechnikov has a rush chance that's saved. The shots are actually 3-1 Montreal, 6.5 minutes in. There's a near miss for Orlov as the Canes press. We get a power play for the Habs. That becomes 1 minute and 9 seconds of 5-on-3. That's all killed off. Canes press with 8 minutes left. At 13:02, Shea scores from Svechnikov and Natchez. We then get a power play for the Canes. That's killed off, so it stays 1-1. Habs press with 3 minutes left. The Canes press with 1.5 minutes left with 30 seconds left. The Canes get a power play. So that rolls over into the second period where it quickly becomes a 4-on-4 and then a Habs power play, but everything's killed off there. Aho has a rush chance that deflects high. Halfway through the period, the shots are 8-5 for Carolina. Habs press with 8 minutes left. Burns has a net drive that saved. There's a near miss for Drury from the slot. Habs cleared out. 3:17 left. The Habs get a power play. That's killed off. The teams exchange rushes. Nason would score. Good forechecking leads to this one. Drury and Chatfield with the assists at 19:35. It's 2-1 Carolina after 2. Third period. The Habs score, but goalie interference, so no, doesn't count. Anderson has a net drive. Anderson has a net drive that's held. So Josh Anderson on Freddie Anderson, and I wrote the wrong Anderson there just to mess myself up. The entertainment guy. Gallagher's then denied and close. The shots are 8-5 for the Canes at 9 minutes. So very consistent effort by Carolina in all 3 periods here. Power play for Carolina. Jarvis is denied and close. That's killed off. The Canes with some momentum. They press. We get a power play for Carolina. That becomes a 4-on-4. And Shea roofs one in close on a fast break from Pesci and Aho at 15:31 during that 4-on-4. Everything's killed off. The goalie pull happens with 1:30 left. And the empty netter is Svechnikov's. Teravainen with the assist at 18:57 makes your final score 4-1 for Carolina. They go to 37-19-6 with the win. With the loss, Montreal 24-29-10. 3 stars are Freddie Anderson, Shea, and Nason. Shots on net, 8-7 Carolina in the first, 13-11 Carolina in the second, 18-7 Carolina in the third. They really put the hammer down. Final shots 39-25. The best way to protect a lead is at the other end of the ice. Power play 0-for-5 Montreal, 0-for-4 Carolina. That should be on a t-shirt, shouldn't it? Hits 13-12 Montreal. Montembeault 35 saves on 38 shots. Freddie Anderson 24 saves on 25 shots. So yeah, Carolina comes out with the win. All right, next up, Edmonton and Columbus. If you don't play your A game against Columbus right now, they win. Columbus is playing well. So it's Pickard versus Tarasov. The Columbus Blue Jackets hit a post early. They almost had the lead. Hyman's denied from the doorstep. Shots are actually 4-1 for the Oilers at 3.5 minutes, but Columbus opens the scoring. It's Olivier from Corrali and Danforth at 6:20. We then get a power play for the Oilers. That's killed off. Shots are 6-5 Columbus with 7.5 minutes left, and at 14:54, it's Nylander. Alex Nylander with another goal. He scores from Sillinger. He buries that one in close. And then at 15:21, Voronkov puts one through Pickard from the slot. And after the first period, it is 3-0 for Columbus. So second period, Texier has a shot that's held. And then at 1 minute and 11 seconds, Hyman scores for Edmonton. That's from McDavid and Draisaitl. That makes it 3-1. Columbus looks to respond. The shots are 3 apiece, 6 minutes in. Oilers press at 9.5 minutes. Roslovic has a slot shot. That's held. Corrali has a rush chance. That's defended. Oilers press. They can't get to the net. Things get pushy on a hold by Pickard. The Oilers press with 2 minutes left. It's 3-1 Columbus after 2. Great game by Columbus. Third period. Power play for the Blue Jackets. That gets killed off. The Oilers rush when it's done. Tarasov holds on to a Henrique chance right out of the box as well. Sillinger fires one wide. There's a brief press for them. The shots are 3-1 Columbus 6 minutes in. We get a power play for the Oilers. McDavid's denied. Tarasov holds. But then at 12:08, Perry scores during that power play. Kane and Nurse with the assists. And then the Oilers are pressing to tie this. Now the score being 3-2. Pressed by the Oilers during a 6-on-5. And then at 19:40, Roslovic hits the empty net from Texier and Goodbranson. And all of a sudden, it's a 4-2 lead, and they win by that score. Columbus goes to 22-31-10 with the win. With the loss, the Oilers 38-21-2. 3 stars are Tarasov, Olivier, and Sillinger. Shots on net, 11-10 Edmonton in the first, 13-10 Columbus in the second, 11-10 Columbus in the third. They outshoot them 34-31. Power plays, Edmonton 1-for-3, Columbus 0-for-1. The hits, 16-13 for Columbus. Pickard saved 30 out of 33. I thought he was shaky a little bit in that first period. He was very good the rest of the way. Tarasov, 29 saves on 31 shots. The more starts Tarasov gets, the more effective he looks. All right, next up. Philadelphia and Florida. You know I'm going to wear Philly. Everybody's just, Philly. Well, Philly's going to fall out. I thought it was funny, too. There was one game I was watching tonight where they were talking about the Eastern race, and they're like, well, the Flyers, they're probably just going to fall out kind of thing. And, well, Florida never loses. And then, Philadelphia beat Florida. Yeah, So, Arison versus Bobrovsky, early jump for Florida. Panthers press at 2 minutes. The shots are only 2-1 for Florida, though, at 6 minutes. So this is a Philadelphia game at that point. Konechny's robbed on a breakaway. Barkov has a rush chance that deflects out. The Panthers press with 8.5 minutes left. Stenlund to Lomberg, near miss there. Strong first period for Arison, and I thought it was a good first period for the Flyers as well. Even though they were outshot by more than 2-1, I thought they did all right. Second period, 10 seconds in. Yeah. Paling scores for Philly. York and Sanheim with the assist. Things then get pushy on a hold by Bobrovsky. Panthers press briefly. The Flyers then have a 3-on-2 that's broken up. There's a power play for the Flyers. Does it suck? Yep, they didn't score. That's the only power play they had tonight. Because why? So the Panthers press, and then Forsling scores from Ekblad at 7:12. He just wires one. So that new contract looks good now. Didn't look great this morning, but that goal right there, that cinches it. I'm kidding, obviously. So it's 1-1. Panthers look for the lead. We get a power play for the Panthers. That's killed off. We're going to the third period with the score 1-1. Early jump for Florida. The Panthers press at 3.5 minutes, but with 9.5 minutes left, the shots are 4-3 for Philadelphia. Every time I was going over to this game, I was waiting for, Panthers to get a bunch of pressure and getting chances. I didn't really see that in the first half of the period. Montour to Lomberg gets picked off. Tippett has a rush chance, that saved. The Flyers keeping the Panthers to the outside. Tippett has a rush that's defended, and then at 19:38, Hathaway buries a loose puck after a turnover. Stahl with the assist on this one. The Flyers, a shocker. They go into Florida and they win 2-1. They go to 33, 23, and 8. The Panthers drop to 43, 17, and 4. So Bruins, you owe the Flyers a gift basket. 3 stars in this one: Hathaway, Ersson, and Forsling. Shots on net: 13-6 Florida in the first, 10-8 Florida in the second, and then 12-7 Philly in the third. Nicely done, Flyers. Final shots: 30-26 for the Florida Panthers. Both teams go 0 for 1 on the power play. The hits: 22-17 Florida. Ersson 25 saves on 26 shots. Bobrovsky saved 28 out of 30. We had a goaltending matchup, and it was a pretty good one. Quite the battle. That being said, I need to change boards. All right, so now we have a battle between two teams that likely don't make the playoffs. Probably not. And after tonight's results, the odds get really long for St. Louis. So Binnington versus Dawes in this one. Shots are 2-0 Devils at 3 minutes. We get a power play for New Jersey. There's a shorthanded Toropchenko rush that's saved. That power play's killed off. Hayes has a one-timer that's saved and held. Jack Hughes with a rush chance. That's saved. Devils go back to the power play and they score on it. It is that rare first goal for New Jersey. I don't know if they know what to do when they get that first goal. Meyer gets this one on the power play from Hischier and Hughes at 13:24. And then at 16:04, Meyer gets his second goal of the period. Palat and Marino with the assists. We then get a power play for the Blues. That's killed off. St. Louis presses to close it out, but it's 2-0 for the New Jersey Devils after the first. Second period, early Blues power play. Krug has a shot that's blocked and cleared. Buchnevich is denied on a one-timer. That power play is killed off. St. Louis would get on the board. Saad scores from Perunovic and Scandella at 9:03. The shots halfway through the period are 8-7 for the Devils. It's a much quieter second half of the period, though. At 16:40, Timo Meier completes his 5th career hat trick. He scores from Palat and Hischier, so Hischier with a couple of assists, same with Palat, and it's 3-1 New Jersey. There's a press by St. Louis with a minute and a half left, but yeah, they're down 3-1 after 2. Third period, press by St. Louis at a minute and 30 seconds. We get a power play for St. Louis. That's killed off. 1 shot on net. Shots are 5-4 for the Blues, or for the Devils, I should say, with 7.5 minutes left. Blues press are kept to the outside. Blues press again with 4 minutes left. They pull the goalie with 2 minutes left, and at 19:01, Eric Howla scores. Meyer with the assist, so 4-point night for Meyer. 4 goals for the Devils, 1 goal for the Blues. New Jersey goes to 31, 28, and 4 with the loss. St. Louis 32, 28, and 3. 3 stars: Meyer, Hischier, and Palat. Shots on net: 18-5 New Jersey in the first, 11-10 St. Louis in the second, 8-7 St. Louis in the third. Final shots: 33-24 for New Jersey. Power play: St. Louis 0 for 3, New Jersey 1 for 2. The hits: 7-5 for St. Louis. Not a physical game. Binnington saves 29 out of 32. Nico Dawes saves 23 out of 24. So, yeah, New Jersey had a really good home game. We'll see if they're able to make up any ground on teams they need to chase down, but it's going to be tough. All right, next up, Washington and Pittsburgh. Wow, Pittsburgh. This is a home game against a rival. They have to win this. I don't know if they were distracted by all the Gensel talk or maybe trade deadlines distracting the team, but this was a disaster. Lindgren versus Jarry in this one. Early power play for the Penguins. Lindgren holds in the midst of some traffic, and then at 1:51 on a rush, Wilson buries a rebound shorthanded. Mallenstein with the assist. The Caps finish the kill. Shots are 6-4 for the Penguins at 3.5 minutes. We get a power play for the Caps. 4-minute power play. They review it. They verify that it is a 4-minute power play. Pacioretty's denied. There's a crossbar for Rasmus Sandin. It's killed off. Then there's a post for Ovechkin as well. Puustinen has a last-minute chance that's held with 7 seconds left. The Caps get a power play. So they're up 1-0 on a power play to start the second. And who else but Ovechkin with, I believe, his 840th career goal He scores from Wilson and Strome at 30 seconds, buries a rebound there. Crosby has a rush chance that's saved, and at 3:16, Jensen, it's another rebound, it's in the net. Mallenstein with the assist. So either you have a defense not clearing those rebounds or just Jarry giving up too many of them. But it was 3-0 Caps. We then had a fight between Mallenstein and Harkins. And at 8:50, Lapierre scores to make it 4-0. Van Riemsdyk and Ovechkin with the assists. We then get a power play for the Penguins. That's killed off. Crossbar for Eller. And then at 16:21, Miroshnichenko gets his first NHL goal. Good for him. Strome and Milano with the assists. With 2:11 left, the Penguins get a power play. That's killed off. It's 5-0 Washington after 2. Third period. 2:13 in, Milano scores to make it 6-0. Alexiev and Strome with the assists. The Penguins press at 7 minutes. McMichael gets denied during some pressure for the Caps. We get a power play for Washington in the third. That's killed off. But yeah, it's 6-0. The Washington Capitals go to 29-23-9 with the win. Pittsburgh 28-25-4 with the loss. 3 stars are Lindgren, Strome, and Miroshnichenko. So your No Mercy Magnets down here, and he's great. Tony the Tiger Magnet is at the top of the board because Lindgren, pretty good game. Shots on net, 15-14 Washington in the first, 15-9 Pittsburgh in the second, 10-5 Pittsburgh in the third. Final shots 39-29 for the Penguins. Power plays, Pittsburgh 0 for 4, Washington 1 for 5. The hits 22-11 for Pittsburgh. Lindgren saved all 39 shots for the shutout. Jarry saved 18 out of 22. Nedeljkovic in relief saved 5 out of 7. So rough night. Didn't matter which goalie was in the net for Pittsburgh. All right, next up, Calgary and Tampa. Who saw this coming? Actually, if you've paid attention to Tampa lately, they look like they could end up missing the playoffs. There is the chance Tampa Bay ends up being the team in the East that's currently above the playoff line that ends up out. And a night like tonight, it just leaves them vulnerable. So it's Markstrom versus Vasilevsky, early press by Calgary. There's a power play for the Flames. That's killed off. The shots are 2-0 for Calgary, 5.5 minutes in. Bolts press at 9 minutes. They don't get a shot. And then, with a good forecheck, Dryden Hunt buries one in close. Sharon Govich with the assist at 11:40. I have a funny feeling every time a goal is a result of a forecheck by Calgary this year, Sharon Govich is involved. But the Tampa Bay Lightning answer at 14:28. It's Connor Sherry from Paul and Hedman. Things get punchy on a hold by Markstrom. The Bolts come out with a power play on that. That's killed off. It was a dangerous-looking power play, but yeah, it's 1-1 after 1. Second period, no shots on net at all 4 minutes in, so not a lot to report until 6 minutes and 11 seconds in. Great pass by Huberdeau. Sharon Govich buries it. Weegar with the other assist, and Weegar with a great shot block to set that up before that. And then at 8:34, Sharon Govich scores again to make it 3-1. From Coronado on a one-timer from the slot. So Sharon Govich loving his time as a Flame. Bolts press to respond. The Flames score. There's a goalie interference challenge. It counts, so the Bolts come out of that with a penalty. Pelche gets credited with that goal at 9:25. It then becomes 4-on-4, and shortly after the power play for Tampa Bay comes to an end, Cirelli buries one. Stamkos and Kucherov with the assists at 12:29. I think it was like 7 seconds after the power play ended. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. This game got kind of chippy, and after 2 periods of play, it's 4-2 in favor of the visitors. Third period, Bolts press at 2.5 minutes, but at 6:04, strong forechecking by the Flames. Coleman scores from Sharon Govich and Huberdeau. So you go again, strong forecheck. Who's involved? Oh, Coleman and Huberdeau and Sharon Govich. Who would have thought? Early goalie pull because they're down by 3, and that's just John Cooper's way, which leads to an empty netter by Calgary. Mangiapane from Backlund and Weegar at 12:17. Tampa would answer. Asimont from Sherry at 14:35. The Bolts would press for another. They end up getting a power play with 3:19 left. That ends up becoming a 4-on-4. And yeah, Calgary ends up winning this one 6-3. They go to 31-26-5 with the win. With the loss, Tampa Bay 33-25-6 on the season. 3 stars in this one, Sharon Govich, Huberdeau, and Cirelli. Shots on net, 7-6 Calgary in the first, 8-6 Calgary in the second, 10-9 Tampa in the third. Final shots 24-22 for Calgary. Power plays, both teams 0 for 3. The hits 29-28 Tampa. Markstrom 19 saves on 22 shots. Vasilevsky 18 saves on 23 shots. So Vasi continues to put up the kind of numbers you're not used to seeing from him. It's been a bit of a down season for Andrei Vasilevsky thus far. All right, next up, Buffalo and Nashville. So Buffalo fought to get their way to 500, and now it appears the dream has passed yet again. So, Comrie versus Saros in this one. The shots are 2-1 Nashville at 2.5 minutes. Preds draw a power play, and they score on it. It's Forsberg from Josi and Nyquist at 3:53. He buries that one from the side of the net. But Bowen Byram answers. Byram may love playing in Buffalo. He scores from Dahlin and Krebs at 4:23. Preds go back to the power play. That one's killed off. McCarron has a net feed that's held. We get a power play for Buffalo. That's killed off. Tuck is denied. The Preds clear. We get a power play for Nashville, and they score on this one. Their second power play goal of the first period. This one's Evangelista from Jankowski and Novak at 16:15. So it's 2-1 Nashville after one. Second period. Shots are 5-2 for Nashville, 6.5 minutes in. Comrie holds on to a chance that was a turnover. Sabres draw a power play. That's killed off. Peterka has a net drive. That's blocked. Gurianov has a net feed. Buffalo picks that one off. Glove save on Josi. Puck's cleared out. Both teams were back-checking pretty well in that second period. Robinson has a rush chance. That's blocked. It remains 2-1 Nashville after two. Third period. At 1:49, Forsberg on a backhand in close makes it look easy. Nyquist with the assist puts them ahead 3-1. Preds look for another. The shots are 3-2 for Nashville, 4.5 minutes in. Sabres press, but Nashville doing a good job of shot blocking, and then Forsberg with his 9th career hat trick. It's a wraparound goal from Lauzon and Nyquist at 6:43. That makes it 4-1. Tuck then has a slot shot that's blocked. Power play for Buffalo, but shortly after it's done, Buffalo does score. It's power from Byram. Byram with the goal and an assist in his debut with the Buffalo Sabres. That's at 12:52. Goalie pull happens with 3 minutes left. They do not generate a goal. Your final score in this one's 4-2 Nashville. The losing streak didn't last, did it? They're back on the winning side of things. They're 36-25-3 with the 4-2 win. Buffalo back below NHL 500 at 29-30-5. 3 stars in this one: Forsberg, Nyquist, and Evangelista. Shots on net, 9 apiece in the first, 9-7 Nashville in the second, 12-7 Buffalo in the third. Final shots 28-25 for Buffalo. Power plays, Buffalo 0 for 3, Nashville 2 for 3. Hits 17-15 Nashville. Comrie saves 21 out of 25. Saros saves 26 out of 28. And now I need to change boards. All right, third and final board, I promise. Minnesota and Arizona. So this was a game that I thought it was funny because both feeds, both Minnesota and Arizona, said the first period, not much to write home about. So it's Fleury versus Vejmelka. We'll go through the notes anyways, shall we? Shots are 3-1 for the Coyotes at 5 minutes. Coyotes press at 6.5 minutes. Things get pushy on a hole by Fleury. The Wild press at the half. Coyotes press with 6.5 minutes left. Cooley had a rush chance. That was defended. But yeah, it was a chess match through the first period, and there's 0 goals. Second period, the Wild score, but Boldy clearly gloved it in, so that didn't count. We then get a power play for the Wild on that same play where Boldy gets tripped, so it looks like it's one of those good penalties to prevent a goal, but during the power play, Minnesota scores anyways. It's Kaprizov burying one from the side of the net. Zuccarello and Faber with the assists at 1:51. We then get a power play for the Coyotes. That's killed off. The Coyotes draw another. There's a shorthanded post for Hartman. That power play's killed off as well. The Wild score. Was it offside? Yeah. I'm starting to think the NHL needs to start calling me. I have a good TV. I could see clearly that was offside. It took them a while. I was just thinking maybe the NHL just needs to start calling me with these. What does your TV say? It says it's offside. Shots are 7-5 for Minnesota at 8 minutes. Hayden fans on a one-timer. The Coyotes press with 6.5 minutes left. The Wild get some pressure with 1.5 minutes left. Nice shoulder save by Fleury and Carcone. It's 1-0 Minnesota after 2. Third period, we get a power play for Arizona, and they score on it. It's Clayton Keller from Schmaltz and Dursey at 1:21. Then they win the face-off, and they score again 7 seconds later. It is post and in for Carcone. O'Brien and McBain with the assists. I apologize for saying that like Tyson would have. Carcone is, yeah. Anyways, I've listened to Nasher a lot. So the Wild tie it, and there's a goalie interference challenge. I'm going to say this straight out. I have no idea why that goal counted. I have defended every goalie interference call, or at least said, it's 50-50. That one, when I saw it, I thought, that can't count. It did. So it's Bogosian from Hartman and Zuccarello at 2 minutes. The crowd was booing while I was scratching my head going, I don't know how that counts. You guys can let me know what the NHL's explanation was for that, because it's not like Ingram could make a save, and there's a Minnesota player right there in the crease. But anyways, I'm not saying it should have been a power, or should have been a penalty, just I don't understand why that wasn't goalie interference. Keller has a one-timer that saved. The Coyotes press at 6 minutes. But at 7:16, Eriksson X scores from Zuccarello. It's wired top corner blocker side. The Coyotes were having major problems with turnovers in that third period. Schmaltz is denied and close. Things get pushy and punchy with 6:45 left. The Wild press with 4.5 minutes left. The goalie pull happens with 2 minutes left. With 1:37 left, the Coyotes call a timeout. Whatever they discuss doesn't help. Faber hits the empty net from Hartman at 18:48. They pull the goalie again, which allows Dewar to hit the empty net from Brodin and Beckman at 19:33. And things get punchy again with 8.4 seconds left. Hey, I understand Arizona being frustrated and Minnesota having to show some fight if they're going to stay in the race. With the 5-2 win, Minnesota goes to 30-27-6 on the season. Arizona 25-33-5 with the loss. See, that's the thing. Goalie interference, 9 times out of 10, I'm like, yep, I get it. There's that other 1 out of 10. I'm like, 50-50. This one, I have no idea. 3 stars, Eriksson Ek, Faber, and Zuccarello. Shots on net, 7 apiece in the first, 11-11 in the second. I know, it's one of those rare times where I'm like, I don't know what officials are thinking. 10-7 shots in the third in favor of Minnesota. Final shots, 28-25 for the Wild. Power plays, Minnesota goes 1 for 2, Arizona 1 for 3. The hits, 29-28 Minnesota. Fleury saves 23 out of 25. Vejmelka saved 23 out of 26. It was close. It was close. Closer than the 5-2 score would let you believe. All right, next up. Vancouver and Vegas. Man, when Vancouver plays well, they're a treat to watch. Honestly, while I was praying to the hockey gods towards the end of this one, this was a treat. Unless you're a Vegas fan. So it's Demko versus Hill in this one. Höglander gets cut under the eye. That was a scary play. It ends up being a 4-minute power play. I'm glad it was under the eye and not the eye. Vegas prevents the setup. Pedersen has a net feed this block. Things get pushy on a hold by Hill. It becomes 14 seconds of 5-on-3. After the 5-on-3 is done, just barely, Hughes, it's a 5-on-4 goal from Pedersen and Besser at 5:59. And then at 6:54, during a delayed call, Di Giuseppe goes 5-hole. Höglander and Juleson with the assist. He fools Hill there and makes it 2-0. Good for Phil. Shots are 9-1, Vancouver 8.5 minutes in. Canucks press with 8.5 minutes left. Kolasar tips one wide as Vegas presses. Eichel gets denied on a 2-on-1. Demko holds there. There's a near miss for Mantha from the slot. Both Mantha and Hanifin were in the lineup. But yeah, it's 2-0 Vancouver after the first. Second period, shots are 2-1 for the Canucks at 3.5 minutes. But at 3:50, Amadio. Petrangelo's shot goes past the screen. Amadio tips it in. Roy with the other assist makes it 2-1. Still Vancouver with the lead, but you know Vegas is dangerous. Canucks press are kept to the outside. There's another press by the Canucks at 6.5 minutes. Suter has a rush chance. That's held. Get a power play for Vegas. That's killed off. That was their only power play of the game. The fans sure wanted others, though. Hughes has a screenshot. That's held. There's a near miss for Mikheyev in close. Is Mikheyev still going to be with the Canucks tomorrow night at this time? Because, honestly, he hasn't been producing. I think he's been playing better, which might improve his stock with another team, pro scouting this. But anyways, heavy pressure by Vegas with 7.5 minutes left. That's where Demko earns his money, and so does the blue line. Höglander then buries a loose puck on a turnover. Nice play by Lindholm to get that steal, and at 15:58 it becomes 3-1. Vegas presses with 2.5 minutes left, but it's 3-1 Vancouver after 2. They're pretty automatic with a 2-goal lead after 2 periods, but it's in Vegas. So early press by Vancouver in the third. Bluger to Lafferty is picked off. I have no idea why I said third, weird. Garland fires one wide on a 2-on-1. Eichel's denied. Puck's cleared out after that. Shots are 5-3 for Vegas, 6.5 minutes in. Vancouver would only get one more shot, but I still didn't feel like they were just sitting back either. So Pedersen fires one wide on a rush. The shots are 8-3 for Vegas with 4.5 minutes left. There's a post for Marchessault, though. Kind of scared me just a little bit. If that had gone in, this game might have gone to overtime. They might have been able to get that momentum and get the tying goal. Suter has a rebound. That's blocked. The goalie pull happens with 2:35 left. With 53.8 seconds left, the Canucks ice the puck. Vegas calls a timeout. They are unable to get another goal. Your final score is 3-1 for Vancouver. They sweep the road trip. They go to 41-17-7 on the season. Vegas 33-23-7. Don't look now. Vegas is closer to that playoff line than I think a lot of people realize. And they better pick it up, because otherwise they could find themselves being the bottom seed in the West, or maybe not even being in the playoffs in the West, depending on how the rest of the season goes. 3 stars in this one: Demko, Hughes, and Roy. That's why they're making the trades they're making. It's not just they're trying to hose themselves by getting Stone out of the lineup. Well, I mean, I would rather have Mark Stone in the lineup than Anthony Mantha. Just saying. Shots on net, 16-7 Vancouver in the first, 15-10 Vancouver in the second, 11-4 Vegas in the third. Final shots are 35-28 for Vancouver. Power plays, the Canucks 1 for 3, Vegas 0 for 1. The hits 26-25 for Vegas. Demko saves 27 out of 28. He was very good. Aiden Hill was good too, 32 saves on 35 shots. Maybe he should have had the Di Giuseppe goal, but yeah, maybe. All right, next up. The Ottawa Senators are cursed at this point. The LA Kings, they eke this out. So it's Korpisalo versus Talbot. Korpisalo, of course, played for LA. Talbot, of course, played for Ottawa. Now they've switched teams. Stützle's denied. Talbot holds. The Sens had the only shot on net at 3 minutes, and that was the one. Laferriere with a near miss on a face-off win. Kastelik collides with the net and gets shaken up. It was not Kastelik's night. Hitting is ramping up. The ref sucks. We get a power play for Ottawa. That means the ref really sucks. And Kubalik deflects in a point shot. Sanderson and Stützle with the assists at 7:33. I think that's Kubalik's first goal in years. Stützle misses one high on a 2-on-1. Lizotte has a shot that's blocked as the Kings press. Kastelik takes a huge hit from Matt Roy, and he exits. So it was a rough night for Kastelik at that point. Shots are 7 apiece with 4.5 minutes left. With 1:03 left, the Sens get a power play, so they're leading 1-0. They have a power play to start the second. Kings finish the kill. Shots are 6-2 LA at 6 minutes. MIN-ARI is a one-timer. That's held. Kopitar has a rush chance. That's blocked. Kopitar then fires one wide on a rush. Just not hitting that net at that point. Gannett then has a rush chance that deflects out, and Byfield puts LA on the board with a fantastic goal on a fast break. That's going to be highlight reel all over the place. Lizotte and Gavrikov with the assists at 13:24. However, bafflingly, Ottawa answers right away. Tkachuk buries a wraparound. Pinto and Batherson with the assists at 13:39. Ottawa's back in the lead 15 seconds later. Sens press for another. We get a power play for Ottawa. That's killed off. More to Fiala. There's a near miss there. But yeah, it's 2-1 Ottawa after 2. Third period, Kings press at a minute and a half. We get a power play for Ottawa. The fans call one. The referee doesn't. Kings kill it off. The ref sucks because during that power play, he was supposed to make it 4-on-4 and he didn't listen. Shots are 3-2 for the Sens at 5 minutes. Kopitar's robbed. Korpisalo holds on there. We then get a power play for the Kings, or we would have, but during the delayed call, LA scores. At 10:24, Dubois scores from Kopitar and Roy. And again, I think those should count as power play goals on some level or something else. And for Matt Roy, that's his 100th career NHL point. I should do like a special video on Matt Roy because he's hit 100 points. That makes so many people mad for so many milestones I haven't done videos on. Anyhow, at 11:46, MIN-ARI with his first NHL goal deflects in, I believe it's off Stützle's stick. Doughty and Kopitar with the assists. Suddenly, LA has their first lead of the game. Doesn't last. At 15:37, Batherson on a one-timer. Nice cross-ice pass to get it to him. Zub and Pinto with the assists. Ties the game at 3 because it's a 7:30 start. One of them had to go to overtime, and we know San Jose's not capable. So we go to overtime. Kings control early. Pinto's denied on a rush. Dubois has a slot shot. That's saved. And then on a backhand, Fiala ends this. Matt Roy with the assist at 2 minutes. Makes the final score 4-3 for the Kings. They go to 32, 19, and 11 with the win. With the overtime loss, Ottawa 25, 32, and 4. The 3 stars in this one, Kopitar, Talbot, and Korpisalo. So both goalies. Those are the 3 stars from TSN. I know LA's can sometimes take a while. Shots on net, 10 apiece in the first, 11-10 Ottawa in the second, 12-9 LA in the third. In the overtime, 3-1 for the Kings. Final shots, 35-31 for the Kings. Power plays, Ottawa 0 for 4. LA didn't get one because they kept whining for it. Hits 29-15 for LA. Korpisalo saves 31 out of 35, and Talbot saves 28 out of 31. Entertaining game, though, considering the standings and where Ottawa is and all that. All right, next up, last game of the night, the Islanders and the San Jose Sharks. And yes, there's a no mercy magnet. It was this close to being an 80s game as well. So it's Sorokin versus Krona, 19 seconds in. Dobson scores from Pajot and Lee, and it's a double deflection off of Sharks into the net. So no chance for Krona there. That's the third fastest goal to start a game by a New York Islanders defenseman, behind Denny Potvin as well as Nick Leddy with the record at 13 seconds. Sharks press at 3 minutes. Horvat has a chance to kick aside. The shots are 9-5 for the Islanders at the half. Zadina has a turnover chance. That saved. Hoffman has a wraparound. That saved as well. Sharks press with 3.5 minutes left, but at 18:31, Romanov on a slapper from the point. Horvat and Nelson with the assists. It's 2-0 Islanders after the first. Second period, we get a power play for the Sharks, and they score on it. It's Bordelot scoring, At 2:43 from Eklund and Zetterlund. He buries the net feed there. Shots are 3-2 for the Sharks at 5 minutes. Teams are exchanging turnovers shortly thereafter. Islanders press with 9.5 minutes left. The red light goes on for a play, but it's crossbar and out. It's not actually a goal. And then Horvat buries one far corner from in close at 11:24, but San Jose answers almost right away. Hoffman buries one 5-hole from Smith at 11:49, so brings San Jose back to within 1. Maybe Hoffman trying to get traded tomorrow. And then McLean answers at 12:04 from Martin and Pelech. So a lot of goals in a very short period of time. That's 3 in less than a minute. And a little over 2 minutes later, on a turnover, a give and go, Barzal scores from Nelson. So, yeah, Barzal with a 20-goal season now. And then at 16:25, Aho scores from Horvat and Nelson. He wires that one from the left circle. So in 5 minutes and 1 second, the Islanders with 4 goals. And they're leading this one by a lot to 2 after 2 periods. Third period, we get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Eklund's denied on rush. Shots are actually 2-0 San Jose 4 minutes in. Islanders press at 5 minutes. Palmieri has a skate that catches Zetterlund's cheek. And man, when a guy's skate comes up like that, it's terrifying. It really is. We end up with a 4-minute Islanders power play on a different play. It's a high stick in this case, of course. And Lee, during the first 2 minutes, he scores from Engvall and Pulock at 8:08. The other 2 minutes are killed off. And that's about the positives that you get for San Jose, because your final score in this one, 7-2 for the Islanders. They go to 28, 20, and 14. They've won 5 in a row. They're getting close to a playoff spot. San Jose 15, 40, and 7 with the loss. 3 stars in this one, Horvat, Nelson, and Dobson. Shots on net, 12-9 Islanders in the first, 13-6 Islanders in the second, 10-8 San Jose in the third. Final shots, 33-25 for the Islanders. Power plays, the Islanders 1 for 2. San Jose scored on the only one they had. Hits, 7-4 for San Jose. So a very gentlemanly game. Sorokin saved 23 out of 25. Krona had a rough time. 26 saves on 33 shots for Magnus Krona. All right, you're all caught up. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event that you've not done so already. Thank you guys so much for watching. And of course, tomorrow it's trade deadline, so craziness will be upon us tomorrow morning. And I will do what I can to get as much out as I can before that live stream goes, because yeah, that live stream can be crazy. So hope to see you there. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. Do not forget to hit like and subscribe if you've not done so. Thank you guys so much for helping this channel pass 308,000 subscribers. That's a lot of people. So thank you guys so much for that. I will talk to you again soon.